What up, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back with another episode of the Shop Podcast. We're on episode number 15. Oh my God, time went by pretty quickly. We've been doing this thing for a little while now, so we're here another Saturday, gonna rock out on some gaming topics. So I got some great people here today. I always tell you guys during the week that I try and get different people in, people that interest me, people that interest everybody here. So go ahead and go around the panel like I typically do, and let everybody go ahead and introduce themselves. We're gonna go ahead and start with my boy B Money. Go ahead, B Money.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody, on the Shop Podcast? It's B Money 101 from the Inner Circle Podcast, the premier podcast for Xbox. I'm here, by the grace of PTK, for invite me over. Lynn was supposed to be here, but unfortunately he has something to do. So I'm here to represent for Tick. I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate it, B Money. Glad to have you. And we're gonna got another special guest. So I got a double treat for you guys this week. So had this beautiful lady on today, a friend of mine. She's big as far as the gaming community. She's a little key. She don't really talk too much and being afraid of everything, but she's really big. Got a lot of gaming knowledge. Got a big gaming background. So go ahead and shout out yourself, Delilah.
Oh yeah, this is Delilah HD. Been doing this for a long time in regards to the gaming community. Feel good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Delilah. Glad to have you on. And then I got my two co-hosts, my right and left hand man. We the three musketeers around here. So you guys go ahead and shout out yourself. GKB, we'll start with you, brother.
All right, guys, what's up? It's GKB from Gamers Know Us Best. Really excited to be here with these fantastic people on this podcast. It's going to be a great show.
All right, for sure. Go ahead, Ashmatic.
What's going on, guys? It's Asthmatic here. Happy to be a part of the Shop podcast and actually be here on time this week to get to be a part of the whole show. You can check me out on YouTube /Asthmatic and over on Twitter at Asthmatic117. Always spreading the Xbox news.
For sure. Let's go ahead and get rolling there. We got some great topics lined up for everybody. It's going to be a good show. By the way, I want to just go ahead and state some things. You guys, please, the live chat has been up and running. So, get in there, have fun, ask us questions. We're starting a new, as I said in my video, we're starting to do a new thing where we're going to take 3 questions from the chat here, and we're going to go ahead and answer the questions at the end of the show. So any questions that anybody have, that you're watching this live, just put them in there. We'll get to them at the end of the show. But appreciate you guys rocking out with us. So we're going to go ahead and get down on some of these topics. So first thing I wanted to go over and discuss was it was said this week that Respawn Entertainment did put out an ad. They're hiring for, I believe it's a senior developer, but it's not for Titanfall 2. We all know Titanfall 2 is going to be coming at some point. Probably this year, E3. They'll probably announce it at some point this year, possibly even before E3. But they're hiring for a third-person action-adventure game, and I thought that was very interesting. So I kind of wanted to go around the panel, get everybody here's take on what type of game. We know it's third-person action, but what would be interesting? Did anybody kind of see this coming? So I'll go ahead and start with our guest, B Money.
Well, I think this comes as a surprise. When you talk about Respawn, they've they're the guys who kind of originated the whole COD phenomenon, and they went out on their own and started Titanfall. But I think this has come about simply because of their publishing deal with EA. EA has a roster of shooting games now with Star Wars Battlefront. They have Titanfall. They have Battlefield. So I think to kind of expand that umbrella, they probably approach Respawn and see what other ideas they had out there that they could bring to the table, and kind of help both of them. Help expand Respawn and expand the portfolio for EA. So I don't know what kind of game it's going to be. Third person is really becoming big as of late. We've seen a lot of third person games in the last 2 years, so it'll be interesting to see what it is. No real major idea right now, but it'll be interesting to see what it is.
All right, cool. So let's get your take on that, Delilah.
Well, I think it's a good idea for them to be kind of trying to expand their portfolio to third person. I mean, we got a lot of third person games out already. Like if you look at Tomb Raider and how successful it's been. So I mean, I think it's good for them. I'm just excited they're still just trying to build on what they already have. So yeah, I think it's exciting. I don't know. what else to
Okay.
add to that, actually.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's about all you can say. I mean, it's very, very exciting from a studio like them. I didn't even know they were capable of doing two games at once. I thought the team was actually smaller. I guess I must have underestimated how big the studio actually is now, because it's probably grown since they started. You know, they just recently, a couple of years ago. So, but go ahead. Let's get your take on that, GKB.
Yeah, I think it's very surprising, but I think it's a happy surprise. You guys kind of touched this subject last week on the Inner Circle podcast too, where we got we live in an age where games are like annual now, and we're getting like the same Assassin's Creed, COD over and over and over every year. I think it's really exciting to see a developer like Respawn wanting to branch out, do other things. They're very talented people there, and it's just very exciting to see. Pretty hopeful about this game.
Nice, nice, fantastic. All right, Asthmatic, what you think about it, brother?
I'm really excited for it. Like Titanfall, I was really excited for when it came out. It was a game that I played a lot of, like in the first month.
You and me
kind
both, brother.
Yeah, it's like it came out, it hit hard, it was really awesome. It was still new. The Xbox One was still new to us, and it really did great. But after a month or two, it sort of just fizzled out, and then now it's sort of there's a really core group of people who play a lot of Titanfall, which is great for them, and I'm glad that those people love that game. But it makes it really hard for people coming in now because anytime you go into matchmaking, you just get dominated by these players who are max level and know every map and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see that they are still doing a Titanfall 2 because Titanfall is a great game and having a sequel is going to be awesome. And I wanted to make that point because I've got an article up right here where the CEO of Respawn made the point back in December of 2014 that they have a whole second team of developers. The people who make Titanfall are still doing what they're doing, and we're going to have a Titanfall 2 eventually. But then this team that they're hiring for this third-person project is a whole other group of people. So Titanfall fans, don't think that you guys are getting the short end of the stick or anything like that. This is just a really talented game development studio, dabbling in something else. And I'm sure whatever they come up with in this third-person action adventure is really going to be great.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, same here. I mean, just to kind of, in the topic, my opinion on that is just, before, like I was telling Delilah, I mean, I didn't even know that the studio was big enough. So to hear that they do have two separate teams and that they're not going to possibly, because, typically the first thing reaction is, oh my God, is Titanfall 2 going to suffer for this? A lot of people may think, oh, are they going to cut it short? The development's going to be short on it. So to hear that there's an entirely new team doing this other game and it's not going to affect Titanfall 2 is really nice. I can't wait till I don't know if we'll get any news this year about the game, about that third-person game. It'd be nice, but who knows? I'm just excited for it. I'm glad. That Titanfall 2 is not going to suffer for it. More games. It'll probably end up being a multi-plat more than likely, but I'm fine with that. And I think it'll be a great game regardless, and they're very, very talented, very, very talented studio. So great topic, everybody. So
what is
go ahead.
What do you think the possibility of maybe getting a teaser maybe at E3?
Oh, wow.
It's kind of early. They could technically in 6 months throw something up like a little teaser CGI type trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be cool. I could see that. I don't know if they do any like actual gameplay or anything like that. I'm probably sure they wouldn't have anything at this point, but I'd like to see something maybe.
I wouldn't mind either.
Well, at the same time, that quote that I found where he said, the CEO says they have this whole separate team, that quote is from December of 2014.
Oh, wow.
So while the team is really small, whatever they're working on, they could totally have, even if it's, something pre-rendered, and if they've got an idea, they could have a trailer for us at E3.
That's true. 2014. It sounds like, it's funny about these developers. You never know when these games actually start getting worked on a lot of times. Sometimes people are like, oh, the game can't come out this year, but hell, the game may have been in development for a year and a half already, so you just never know. You never know. Okay. So I think it'll be fantastic either way, though. If they show it or not, I think it'll be cool either way. I wonder if Microsoft will have dibs on that. I'm pretty sure since it's up under the EA umbrella, it's going to be a multi-plat. They don't do anything exclusive. So I wonder how that'll work out. We'll see when it comes out. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Another thing I wanted to talk about, me and GKB had kind of been discussing this earlier this morning, I believe, about the Division. I've been seeing the Division all over Twitter. I did not get a chance to get into the alpha. I'm hot as hell. I never got a chance to play it, so but it's okay. It's okay. I get my shot at the beta, but I know probably some people here on the panel maybe had a opportunity to play it. I just been hearing fantastic things about it. We got a lot of people hype. I know the Xbox community is hype. I feel like Microsoft, if you're gonna go ahead and do a third-party deal, make sure you do it with the right type of game. And I think the division could turn out to be. People are kind of comparing it to Destiny in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that the Destiny's pretty much an amalgam. It's taking a lot of pieces from a lot of different games and kind of like put it into a melting pot and just spit something out. So I think this is kind of along that same vein. You get a lot of RPG elements. You get a lot of leveling up, looting. You still get the third-person shooter. You still get the open world like a GTA big city to run around in. So it's a lot of elements there. So I want to go around and get you guys kind of get you guys' opinion on if you guys are excited for this and what do you guys think about it if you got a chance to play. I don't know if you can actually talk about it if it's still on NPD or something, but go ahead, B Money. What you think about Division, brother?
Let me first start off by saying that I'm a huge like Tom Clancy fan. I've loved Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. So to see this kind of fall under that same umbrella, I was super excited when they first announced this. I believe they announced this back in 2013 at the end of the Ubisoft presser. So they've been working on this game for a while. I did get a chance to check it out in the alpha, and I will say, I came out of that alpha, pretty excited, pretty hyped for the game. This is Ubisoft, so we know, they usually show off something pretty, and then the end game is something different. But I'm still kind of hyped for the game. Like you said, there's definitely some RPG elements in there. It's a role-playing game, and a lot of people I don't think are, who haven't played it, aren't really aware of that, because they're so used to Tom Clancy games being associated with being like a straight-up shooter or a versus combat game, where this is, really going to rely on a lot of teamwork and playing throughout the city of New York. So I'm excited to see how fans take the game once it releases in March, and what the reception will be. But I'm super excited for it. I can't wait. And then they announced Ghost Recon at last year's E3. So and that's another open world role playing game, which will be pretty similar. So I'm excited for that as well.
Nice. Now, I completely forgot about Ghost Recon. Glad you brought that up. So let's go ahead, Delilah. What's your opinion on the division?
Well, the division looks great. I mean, the RPG elements, I'm very excited about it. I'm a little bit skeptical as well, though, because of the whole Watch Dogs issue.
Yeah,
And how that kind of developed. And, right. So I'm a little cautious on that, but I'll definitely give it a shot. I'm big on RPGs, so I definitely look forward to kind of checking out those elements of the game.
Did you get a chance to play the alpha?
No, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play the alpha. I've been checking out a couple videos on it, but no, not myself personally.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I did not either, so yeah, it's all right though. We'll get our shot. Got that beta coming up, so I'll be happy to play that. So, GKB, what do you think? Division, brother?
I'm much like B Money there, where I'm a huge Tom Clancy fan. More specifically, the whole Splinter Cell series. And if you're listening, Microsoft, please lock that down. I want that. But no, I did get to play the alpha. I was very skeptical going in because, like, before they didn't really show too much about the game, like how it was going to work and the dark zone and this, that, and the other. But actually being in there, it works fantastically well. The detail in the environments were great. The AI on the characters were actually quite interesting to play against because, when you're trying to hide or, get under something, they'll try and flank you. They'll throw grenades at you and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah, they are pretty smart.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's really good, man. But yeah, coming out of the alpha, I'm super excited. It's probably going to be a day one buy for me, for sure. It's really interesting too on how the whole dark zone works. They had a couple press releases come out about the dark zone, and where everybody kind of starts together, where nobody's an enemy. But as soon as you tag somebody with a bullet accidentally or anything, you immediately turn red, and and then it's all balls to the wall after that. So It looks really interesting. Can't wait to play it.
I got a quick question before you move on.
Sure.
So is there anything that concern you about it since you've been like part of the alpha? Like, is there anything that you kind of take a couple steps back and just not really, not feeling or controls wise, all that?
I thought the controls were really tight. I guess the thing coming away is because it's getting the comparison to Destiny now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that comparison is because of the potential in this game could be that big. And where, like, I'm kind of weary is, how long is this going to be, like, the longevity of the game, where Destiny, people play every day, all day. I don't know if this is going to translate like that. I hope so.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna have the same grind elements as Destiny. You know,
Right.
where you're playing the same missions over and over
Yeah.
again.
Oh, God, I hope
Because
not.
there is like a level 30 like level cap in the game, and then as you progress through the game, certain areas of the map become harder to defeat.
Right.
Um,
And they
So,
haven't said
yeah.
anything about, like, raids or anything either. Sorry.
yeah, they haven't
Mm.
given too much detail on that either, which is a little bit concerning. So
Right.
that's kind of what I take away from it, is that because playing through alpha, there's certain missions and things like that that you have to complete, and if you play the game for 40 hours, is the game done then?
Right. Right.
What is the end game for the game? So
Good question. Great damn question. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
All right, Asthmatic, what you think, brother?
Dude, I could not be more excited for the division right now. And I did also get to play the beta, or excuse me, I got to play the alpha. And really the most we can say about it is that it was a ton of fun. And as you guys were talking, I kind of had a couple things that I wanted to make couple points I wanted to make. I think the division, where it's going to do better than Destiny is in the way it handles endgame. Because Destiny is one of those games that you feel like you're really working so hard and you're grinding to get to the end, and then when you do, it's like, okay, now I just kind of need to keep playing the raids over and over and hope that I get better loot than I did last time. And that got boring for a lot of people, and a lot of people who weren't perfectionists, did them twice and was like, okay, we're done. And there was an article that came out yesterday that I wanted to go back and reference, where in an interview with somebody from Massive, the development studio, they made the point that while you're leveling up, the Dark Zone, which is the PvP zone in the map, is segmented into different level areas. So you've got like your 1 through 5 and your 5 through 10 and so on and so forth. But when you get to level 30, that whole area, instead of being separated, becomes one giant area and is totally repopulated and is almost an entire new zone for those endgame players. So a month down the road, 3 months down the road, when more and more people are getting to level 30, that dark zone is going to evolve and become a completely different zone and a completely different style of play, which leads me to another reason that I think the Division is going to prove to have, better legs than Destiny, because the Division is going to be a game that's defined a lot by the people who play it. Destiny is really what Bungie gives us. They create a world, we go into it, and we play, but it's mostly what they design.
Right.
Whereas the Division feels like a game where they've built a world,
It's like
and then they
living.
just sort of give it to us, and we make of it what we will. So,
Nice. Good
interesting.
point.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I also think the division is going to be way more expansive than Destiny has been.
I hope so.
I think so
Okay.
too. The map that they show is really a small part of New York City, so it looks like it could go further on. So that's kind of exciting.
I hope they give us as much possible areas as they possibly can. I mean, it's we don't know. I mean, it's obviously they're more than likely going to be some type of DLC for the game, as is
Mhm.
most games nowadays. So who knows what they could add on with the DLC? It could be a whole other borough of New York. It could be I
yeah.
don't know if you're playing downtown or wherever the original setting is. It could be like Queens or Brooklyn or something. Just something interesting. So Live just joined everybody. So everybody
Hey,
shout
what's up,
out
Live?
Live.
What's going on
You
live?
just jumped in
Yo,
here,
what's
man.
good?
Yo.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get your opinion on this topic also. What do you think about the division, Live?
Oh man, yeah. For a while, I was excited at first, and then I was like, oh, people saying it's not all that. But then I was kind of down on it, and Ubisoft was going through all that shit, so I was like, I don't know. I'll wait, especially after Watch Dogs. That shit burnt the fuck out of me. I said, oh,
Exactly what
I was
Delilah
saying the
just
same
said.
thing.
Yeah.
I was mad at the mother. Like, I was sitting in class, right? So we were in a graphic design class, and I was talking to an old girl, and she was like, "Yeah, I got Watch Dogs." I'm like, "Is it hot? Is it like GTA?" Well, like she was like, "Yeah, it's good. You know, it's fun." And I played it, and I'm like, "Man, this game is boring as fuck. Like, I don't give two shits about this motherfucker." He's like, "Yo, they kidnapped no, they killed the boy or whatever the hell they did." And I'm like, I don't even give a shit. I want to, but I just don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but the division, the more I see of it, it's giving me that feeling of kind of like that first reaction that we had when we saw it. We're like, oh, this shit is hot. Even though the graphics probably won't be as crazy as they were, obviously, because that was like the PC or like a.
It's just a tech demo,
Yeah, tech demo.
But from what I'm hearing is it still looks really good. They said it's like on the level of the new Assassin's Creed. So that's not Syndicate. So that's not bad at all. That game looks good. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm afraid at the same time though.
Right.
But for the same
Yeah.
reason why I'm afraid of fucking Ark, because fuck, am I gonna find all this goddamn time?
It's gonna be overhyped. Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Like, yo, I'll be watching Kyle play fucking Ark, and I joined this tribe and everything, and every time I look at him in there, I'm like, man, I'm scared. I don't want to jump back in there. Like, he brought me to the tribe, this dude's like fortress is insane. He was like, yo, come over here. Let me cook you some dinner. Just threw some food at me. I was like, what the fuck? This shit is crazy. He was like, yo, all right, that's such and such locker right there. All right. Yeah, so you can put your stuff in there if you want to. I'm like, oh my god, this shit is nuts, yo.
Nice. So it sounds like everybody's pretty much. Some of us are a little hesitant with the division, but for the most part, we're all excited about the game coming out. I know I can't wait till it comes out. I'm dying. That's probably it's actually within the last few weeks moved up of my wants as far as like the games I want next year. It wasn't for me particularly. It wasn't highly anticipated, but that's actually changing. The more and more I see from it, and the more I hear about it. So I'm super hyped for the game. And just to kind of go off, not necessarily go off topic, but kind of bring up another topic and kind of piggyback since we are talking about Ubisoft. What do you guys think about the fact that they're giving Assassin's Creed a break for the year? It's kind of a rumor at this point. I don't know if it's actually confirmed that they're going to do that, but what do you guys think about that? Them giving them a break for a year, taking a break off from Assassin's Creed, and then coming back next year, what I believe was called Assassin's Creed Empire. It'll be like in Egypt or something. I can't believe I think that's what it's called. But so you guys think that's a good idea? Let's go ahead and start with B Money.
Man, thank God they are taking a break. Like, I'm so tired of buying Assassin's Creed games every single year and then being disappointed. Like Syndicate, like I just skipped it because I bought Unity and then like Unity was horrible.
Yeah.
So I felt like Ubisoft couldn't get my money, for another Assassin's Creed. So maybe I'll buy it like sometime this year because a lot of people said it's probably one of the better Assassin's Creed games that's released. But I'm glad that they're taking a break. I mentioned this before on our last podcast, on the Tick podcast, that a lot of these games need to take breaks. A lot of people are getting just fatigued of playing the same games over and over and over again.
Sorry, I had to get some water.
Like, nobody has like a yearning, to play the game. Like when Fallout came out, did you see how many people went crazy when they announced Fallout and how it's so like,
Right.
It's so crazy because it had been released every single year. It took the time off, it built up the hype. The people who, were invested in Fallout 3, couldn't wait till Fallout 4 came out. I think that's what a lot of these games need to start doing. Assassin's Creed is a great franchise. But what they're doing by releasing the game every year and then releasing these, sub games, the Revelations, Brotherhoods, and all that, like, just stop it and release a game every 3 years, and then the hype for the game will be there, and people will still buy the game. People will still be loyal to it. Just because it's went away for a few years doesn't mean, people are gonna stop thinking about it and not purchase the game when it releases.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. I just think that let's be honest with it. The way the actual industry is set up now in today's day and age, these games are very expensive. You don't have there's more and more devs like a studio like who does the the Fallout, obviously Bethesda, correct?
Yeah, Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
afford to take 5 years off because the game is huge when it comes out. Like Skyrim, those games, Fallout 3, they're gigantic. They're critically acclaimed, and they sell like crazy. They can afford to take 5 years off and take their time with the game. A lot of these other studios, they kind of call, Activision, the people that do Ubisoft that do these annual series. I mean, I just think there's a kind of a knee-jerk reaction. Like, they're almost scared not to put a game out every year, because they're afraid that it'll die off. Or, I really, I think Call of Duty needs to take a break. I really do. We could use a break between CODs. I don't think there'll be an issue or anybody will have a big issue with it. Maybe some of the pro players, because that's what they do on a yearly basis, but I don't think any casual fans would have an issue. But let's go ahead and get your opinion on Ubisoft taking a break, Delilah.
I completely agree with B Money. They definitely need a break. It's a classic case of like series fatigue. I mean, not only do they have the AAA, games that we see like Syndicate and all of those, but they also have like those little platformers like India and China. So they just need to sit back, do something else. Like I've heard rumors about a what is it, Prince of Persia game coming out. It's
That would be dope.
Yeah, I'd rather have that.
Yeah.
But so I need this break. Like I'm sick of it. Like I'm tired of Assassin's Creed. It's like the same game over and over. I mean, they try to make it different, but it's still the same game. So I mean, I definitely want to see like a Prince of Persia. They got so many other IPs they can kind of jump on. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
Nice. What do you think, DKB?
Yeah, much like everyone else here, thank God, they're taking a break. At the same time, it's a little bittersweet for me because I've been wanting an Assassin's Creed game in Egypt so badly, and of course, this is the year they take the break, right? But yeah, I mean, they need some time to, work on their game engine, work on their mechanics. The last few just haven't been great as far as mechanic-wise. They've been really buggy.
Unity killed it for a lot of people. Unity killed it for a ton of people. The way it came out, just damn near unplayable.
Right.
So that killed momentum for it. Even B Money said earlier, I heard this Syndicate was actually really freaking good. I've been hearing that from a lot of people that actually own it. But just so many people are turned off by the fact that Unity came out broken. So it kind of left a bad taste in people's mouth. So they didn't go out and support Syndicate like typically, if Unity wasn't broken, I think Syndicate would have had a little bit better following as far as selling and doing well like that. But I completely agree with you. So I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead, man.
No, it's great. But also like give it time to get that hype back. I mean, when you see like Uncharted games and like Halo games come out, there's so much hype on those games, and they just make a ton of money when they come out because everybody's wanting it, been fiending for it. And the same thing could happen for Assassin's Creed again, and they just take that break, work on it, make it really good again. Yeah, they just need a break.
Oh, great. What do you think about that, Asthmatic?
I think that in the long run, that's going to really do a lot for the franchise because, like everybody else has said, like what I see in the industry as a whole is healthy franchises take longer between games. Because you got to remember that the people who make these games, the ultra creative people who work at these development studios are going to do better work if we give them a little bit more time to slow down after they've just worked on this huge project, think about the things they wanted to do that they didn't get to or things that they didn't do all the way that they want to do better, and really give these people time to make an amazing product. Don't just put deadlines on it. That's one of my number one things that I love about Bethesda and with Fallout and Elder Scrolls. As much as I love those games and I almost wish there was newer content more often, it's totally worth the wait every single game. Like there's, rumors going out about Elder Scrolls 6 that might be in the works, and I'm super excited for that whenever it comes out because I trust this development studio to give me great content whenever it comes out. And that's across like Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It's the same thing I see with Halo. And a game that came to mind is Half-Life 3, which doesn't exist yet, but it's that there's so much hype for that game because people trust Valve and they know that whenever they make this game, it's going to be great. No one's upset. I mean, yeah, people are upset that it's not out right now, but that's just because it's won it forever. But it's I think the people that are going to be like, man, it sucks that there's no Assassin's Creed this year. It's going to be way worth it next year when whatever game they come up with after taking that time off is going to just really nail it. It's going to put Assassin's Creed back on the map if they do it right. And Call of Duty and those guys really need to take a lesson from this because I used to love Call of Duty and I've been totally burnt out on it because I'm not getting a new game every year. I'm getting a 1.5. I'm getting an expansion and you're charging me the price of a full game, and it's like I need to wait every 5 years to feel like it's a whole new experience.
But you still buy it. That's the whole thing. They
I
give every
don't
time
know
they get
that.
their money.
I
Yeah,
don't anymore. I haven't bought a Call of Duty in 3 or 5 years.
Okay, we'll see. Well, you're an exception, but most people that's their
They're still
ritual. Like
gonna
they
go,
buy
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just like a bad habit, brother. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, Delilah is absolutely correct. People complain. These franchises, Call of Duty, still sitting at the top of the MVDs
It
every
is,
month for the
yeah.
last 3 months. So you can't really sit up here. When they know that, they know people are still going to buy it. They're really not going to change. But good luck getting Activision to do anything else besides that. So let's go ahead and get Live's opinion on Assassin's Creed taking a break this year.
I think it's much needed. To be honest, I haven't really legitimately played an Assassin's Creed since the Brotherhood. I mean, I stole my brother's copy of Assassin's Creed 3, and I didn't even finish it, yo. I stole it. He was like, "Oh, I haven't gotten past the beginning or whatever." He was stuck on some other game, so I was like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna play it." And I think I grew up, and I was just like, "Man, I don't give a fuck." And then I just stopped playing it. I mean, sometimes it's like that. I don't know. I know it wasn't compelling me. It was just too much goddamn talking, and he just wasn't interesting. As being a Native American, my goddamn self, I feel disappointed that they made him so goddamn boring. But it is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the break is much needed, much needed. But they could always, like, the next one, they just put out DLC. I don't see why they don't do that in the first place. Just like a movie, you have your main movie. You're like, all right, we dropped this movie, and then we drop director's cuts. Director's cuts in gaming is DLC. Now you just add that on this year, that year, until your next game is done, and then you drop the next game and do the same thing. So it's like, yeah, you're getting a break, but you're not out of the public view. Just don't come on E3 with fucking DLC, because we will boo your ass. We will boo you for real. You're like, guess what? We got DLC. Fuck you. Bring new IPs, some new games. Don't come up here with DLC. Like 4 DLCs on E3. Whoever Sony or Microsoft, I don't give a fuck. Whichever, Nintendo, if they decide to do that, they should be dragged out.
Yeah.
Fucking dragged out.
Well, hey, look, Destiny already got away with doing that at Sony's conference. The whole Taken King and all of that stuff.
Well, but that's Sony. Nobody says anything bad about Sony. I mean, like, Yoshida could come on the fucking E3 stage and say, guess what? I'm giving you motherfuckers, and take a shit on the stage. He'd be like, here it is. And then fucking walk off. They'd be like, oh my god, this shit is wonderful. I want more of that.
The Delilah got a hit after hit after. Shout out to Jamie Moran too. Jamie watching
like shit after shit.
Stupid. All right. Yeah. So I mean, looks like the consensus is that we think it's a good idea. I'm pretty sure if you ask 99% of the internet, they probably all say, yeah, I think that's a good idea too. So I just hope that they can create a good game. I mean, Egypt is very, very interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. I want to see like some pyramid. I want to jump off that Sphinx head or something.
Oh, I want to see some real Egyptian
or something.
Slide down the side of the pyramid.
Yeah, that type of shit. I want to see crazy stuff, Indiana Jones type stuff. That would be nice.
They got to show some traditional Egyptians. Don't just show the white ones. Show the black ones too. We know both. The craziest shit. You'd be like, yo, how does this motherfucker survive out here in fucking Africa? All this goddamn sun, you white as hell.
Silly, man. All right, yeah. So looks like we pretty much talked about that. So let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Our next topic, I don't really bring it up that much because honestly, for me, it doesn't really matter that much. We're going to get into some of the things that Sony, Microsoft, even Nintendo coming around with their new console can do next year to kind of bolster. Sony has obviously had the lead as far as console sales for the most part this generation, like 90% of it. They've both been selling well, both consoles. The Wii U, I guess, was kind of a failure. They didn't really sell all that well, even though it did have a whole year head start from the other two consoles. So let's talk about some of the things each one could do different. For this year, so let's go ahead and start with B1.
Well, the first thing Nintendo needs to do is release games. I don't understand how they think they can release 4 games a year and that'd be okay. You know, they need to. I know there's rumors of the NX being announced at E3, which is highly likely. So they definitely have to get the third parties involved and get them on board. But if they release the Zelda game and maybe a Metroid game, and if they drop like a Pokemon RPG game for a console, like they'd kill the game because I think they're expected to sell like I was reading an article. They're expected to sell like 10 million in the first year or whatever.
That's
So
well, that sounds about right.
if they release solid products and a solid games, then they can definitely reach that mark. Um, as far as Sony, I think Sony took Microsoft's playbook from 360, and they're rolling with that, and right now it's working for them. So they just stay a course, keep releasing the games that they are. They're doing everything in a timely manner, so you can't really knock what they're doing. And then for Microsoft, I mentioned this before. It's all about timing with them. They got a lot of great IPs. That'll be new. Besides the whole Halo, Gears, and Fable. So as long as those games release in a timely manner and they get behind those and really push those, I think they'll be all right for this year.
All right, for sure. What you think, Delilah?
You said from out of Nintendo and PlayStation 4, like what I think they should, or Sony, what I think they should do
Well, I mean, as far as marketing
next.
like,
I
this year.
think I agree. I think Nintendo should focus on games. They need to stop trying to create the next gimmick and just focus on, relying on, continue to rely on their IPs. Because like I have a Wii U and I think it's flawed from a user experience perspective. I mean, I work in UX, so that whole looking down at the screen and looking back up at the TV, to me, it just takes away from the core gamer experience. So I think that they get back to games. Definitely another Zelda, released the Zelda they showed, the open world Zelda they showed, and Metro would be nice, but definitely games. To me, that's what's gonna sell. So.
Nice, nice. So, what do you think about so specifically you, since you have a different perspective? What do you think about the stuff you've been hearing about the docking station possibly with the handheld? You can bring the
Oh my
handheld,
God.
play with it on the road, and then come home. Dock it to the actual system and then play with it like that. I mean, it's just a rumor at this point. We have no idea what the system's gonna be. So, you kind of turned off by that rumor. You think just it's another gimmick possibly, or?
I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, it probably wouldn't. It's not for my demographic. I mean, I think it's for younger people, younger kids, and stuff like that. Because I mean, I wouldn't want to take. I mean, I got a DS. I would take something like that. I wouldn't want to have my. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that'd be great. It's not a selling thing for me personally, but for younger kids, for my nieces and nephews and things like that, I think it'd be great for them. But me personally, no.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 So, let's get your thoughts on that, GKB.
Um, as far as Nintendo, I think we will see the NX this year. As far as we know, like the patents for the controller, I'm kind of worried about that a little
Me
bit.
too. Me too.
I don't know if it doesn't have thumbsticks. One of my biggest thing with mobile games is I don't like using the touchscreen to
Yeah.
play. I heard they're going after a lot of third-party support, and I don't see myself playing COD or anything on that type of controller. Now, if they throw in a pro controller, in the box as well, or I can pick up one, that could be a possibility that might get me on that side a little more. Definitely third-party games. I think the Mario games and all that kind of stuff's getting a little stale. They do their best to revamp them, but they definitely need that third-party support. Sony, they're rolling, man. What can you say?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see more new IPs from Sony, kind of like what Microsoft's doing. And that's pretty much it. I mean, keep hiring and keep those PR guys on Sony, man. They're doing a fantastic job over there. Microsoft, I would like to see more aggressive marketing for their new
Oh, God.
IPs.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they really gotta to push stuff out there, get it in front of everybody's faces, and get some hype going behind some great IPs coming out. Other than that, man, doing a good job.
The thing with Microsoft, though, in regards to their marketing, Like, it's not only with Xbox, it's with all of their products. They don't market well for anything.
Yeah.
Other than, like, well, recently Surface. But they don't market for their phones. They don't market for anything. It's like they're so big. It's like they got to take that money and spread it around. They don't
Spread
know
it
how.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
they
That's
need to focus,
absolutely
though. They
true.
need to really focus on that.
Yep.
They're too big to not have great marketing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
True. Absolutely true. All right. So, Asthmatic, what do you think?
For Xbox, I want to reiterate the point that we made a couple weeks ago here on the podcast, where we made the point about like social media presence. Like, yeah, they do, their news video every week with Major Nelson, which that's a fantastic series. Like, I have a series I do on my YouTube channel based on that, because it's great that they do that every week, give people, pretty much the headlines of everything great that happened that week. But let's get a little more. Seeing Major Nelson on Twitter all the time is really great. I want to see a little bit more of a YouTube presence of original content.
Yeah.
And like, I use my Xbox every day, and I love the Kinect, but in terms of games and functionality, we haven't really gotten anything new than what we got in the beginning. And I'd like to see some more Kinect integration in third-party games if we can. Like, Battlefield does a thing where like physically leaning left and right in your chair will cause your character to lean in game, and little things like that I find I actually use. I don't necessarily need a Kinect Adventures to get me excited about my Kinect. I don't need that, like, it's only with the Kinect. I don't need that much. I'm planning on doing a video on my channel about things that I want to see come from the Kinect in the future. And one of the things that I was planning on talking about in there is I would love custom commands. Like, that would be so great. If I could shorten things up, because like right now to go through games and stuff, you have to use like full titles of games, and some of this stuff where it's like a title, the number, the subtitle, all this stuff. I'm like, I just want to say, hey, play Halo. And
Master Chief Collection .33.
Yeah, and like whenever I'm on, like I was. Yeah. Like, I've been
I
watching,
think that could happen.
Yeah.
With the, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think that could happen with the with them adding into Cortana, because she's more of a she could break the actual. She's more of a lingual. You can talk to her normally rather than like a robot. You know what I'm saying? Like a Siri, like a Cortana or OK Google type situation, where she'd be able to implement those commands. More of a formal speech rather than like robotic word for word type speech to get where you need to go on the Xbox. So I think that could be interesting.
Yeah. Well, and she's gonna come to Xbox. They've said that she's gonna be on there, but I'm not exactly sure when.
Yeah.
Because they said last year it was gonna be sometime, I think early 2016, which is where we're at right now. So I don't know where that's gonna really come from. And on Xbox, I want to see, as sort of a weird conversation to get into, but VR something, because that's what's going to be at the end of 2016. VR is going to be the big thing that happened this year, and we know what Sony's doing. We know that Microsoft has the HoloLens, but we also know that they've told us that the HoloLens isn't being developed as a gaming accessory. It's not being developed for games. It's being developed as a business tool, but we know that it is going to have many fantastic applications in the gaming world. So I'm thinking, is there going to be a lighter version that is going to be for the Xbox, or is the full version going to be on Xbox, and what's it going to be able to do? Or are you guys going to have Oculus support? Because what are we going to see here? Because I believe the Oculus uses IR for its tracking, and you've got to connect on your Xbox anyway, so you've already got the camera. So it's kind of, I'm not saying I want one or the other. I'm saying I want to know what they're planning. I want to know what they've got nailed down. And I think it'd be a mistake for them to wait until E3 to let us know about that. I don't think they should wait that long.
Very
I think we'll see that at GDC.
Yeah, that's a good call.
We'll see the Oculus partnership at GDC.
You think it's going to be full Oculus support, or just?
Yeah, I think it will be. Because they kind of mentioned that last year, that they would, support Oculus on Xbox One. So I think at GDC we'll see the full support of that, because Microsoft would be, utterly stupid to miss that opportunity. And then they don't really have to, create their own VR. They don't have to create their own VR headset, and they can still stay in their own lane, and just roll with that partnership.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Cool. And I think that's what's great about what they did with Oculus. How they kind of got in bed with Oculus, because they don't have to support their own VR headset. So it's not going to, if this thing doesn't work out with VR, which is entirely possible, that doesn't catch on and people don't like it, they're not
Yeah.
really going to suffer from it. So,
Right.
as say with a Sony, which has to support their own headset and it costs a lot of money, they put a lot of, art development time into it. It costs a lot of money, so hundreds of millions of dollars. Microsoft doesn't have to put up if this thing doesn't take off. So I think it was fantastic. They kind of got their foot in the water a little bit, so we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with that whole partnership. But that is very interesting too, Ash. I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah.
So, Live, what you think about any changes for Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo next year?
Man, Nintendo, they need to just go back to just making a regular old console. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's where they're losing people. And they don't need to have anything crazy as far as online. But if they're gonna keep with this whole, we want to save the kids or whatever, protect the kids from whatever, then whoever, if you have a credit card and they know how old you are because you have a credit card, then that person should be allowed to talk online and whatever, and then everybody else
Parental
that's
controls,
guests,
like every other system has.
yeah, and then well, yeah, but they want to be the parent for everybody. They basically said y'all fucking suck as parents, and we gotta do this shit for you. So I mean, if that's what they do, fine, cool, whatever. If I have a credit card, I should be able to talk online. Cool. All right. Then just after that, just work with third party, and hopefully they can do a decent job. Sony doesn't really got to do shit because motherfuckers buying their shit for nothing. So, I mean, they really, really, really don't have to do shit. I mean, they can literally say, guess what? Uncharted 4 is not coming. Fucking Horizon's not coming. Guess what? Y'all motherfuckers not getting no exclusives, and we taking all the goddamn indies. Motherfuckers will, oh, this is great news. That means we can just focus on multiplayer now. Thank you, Sony. Oh, my God, I love them. Like, no, they don't got to do shit. Microsoft, their marketing sucks. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's because they print money, man. It's like their biggest issue with Microsoft is the simple fact that, they make so much money off of just the shit that they can do just regularly, like with Windows, Word and Excel and all that shit. Like that shit, like at my company that I work for, you know what I mean? Like we pay a yearly, subscription so we can have Windows, applications for a whole bunch of different stuff. So, I mean, they make money. So it's, they just got to work on advertising as far as like for Xbox. Yeah, I mean it's so bad, man. It's so bad. Like they don't. It's almost like they. I don't know if they're not trying. I mean, or are they trying to help Sony? Is this what's going on? They be like, because they make money off of everything that Sony sells, damn near. So like,
That's true.
well, fuck it, like, yo, sell another controller, Sony, we get paid. Sell another game, Sony, we get paid. Sell another console, Sony, we get paid. We don't give a fuck what you say, we get paid. Like, that's basically how they do. So I don't. Maybe that's what they're thinking is they win regardless. They can't win. They can't lose for losing. They can't lose for winning. So.
I think they need to make the effort to do that year round, to do hardcore Xbox marketing all the time. Because when we go to E3 and we see, the trailers that they do and the type of content they create in terms of, I guess you could call it advertising, like what they've got, like everything that they do on screen at their keynote and everything is awesome. Like there are people at Microsoft who can create this content and make it amazing, like do things advertising wise and marketing wise that will get people excited. But so many years we see that stuff only at E3. Like let those people work the other 11 months of the year.
Yeah, but I think it feels like they're double dipping though. Could be because you watch them, they have no panic. Phil's always calm. He's like, yeah, Sony won again. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm like, Phil, are you not concerned? No, but you know. I'm like, Phil, is there something that we don't? Well, I mean, I can't say, but
But yes.
I'm like, Phil, do you have like a couple billion coming from Sony? Well, I mean, I can't comment on that.
Hashtag NDA.
Yeah, right. Hashtag we own these motherfuckers, but we can't say.
You're right. It's crazy. They are the entire Xbox division. You speak to any of them on a daily basis. These guys are not concerned about MPVs. They're not concerned about sale. They're not concerned about any of that. Like I talk to Aaron sometimes. I've had him on the show, and that was the last thing he was worried about. Like I brought it up, like, hey, this is after the show. We just sitting in the chat or whatever the case may be. talking. He's like, I'm not worried about that. I'm like, you sure? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, I'm leaving that alone. Like, you're not worried, I'm not worried. So,
I think
it's not.
I think the I can't even say primary reason that they're not worried about it though is because of the almost 200 million on Windows 10. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's their bread and butter. They're not worried about the amount of Xbox ones being sold, which is
Yeah,
kind of
I'm-
sad for us.
That's
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Is I don't understand, like, they don't aggressively market like the Xbox stuff, but you'll see like 19 different commercials about the Surface and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they're not pushing, because Xbox is a Windows 10 device.
Xbox is still the new kid on the block. If you go back, if this is the only time I'm gonna point you to IGN. Go to IGN. go to IGN. Watch Ryan McCaffrey last year. I think E3 he had Seamus Blackley, he had Peter Moore, and he had Phil Spencer all on one show. And he went through each one of them asking about how Xbox has evolved. Microsoft did not want the Xbox brand at all. They weren't concerned with Xbox for the first few years. They did not care. It was a new kid on the block. Peter Moore and Seamus said when they went to the table, when they had those big board meetings to sit in front of Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates, they were the last people at the table that they got asked about, well, how is this division doing? A lot of people within Microsoft didn't necessarily even want the Xbox to take off. They felt like it was just a bad idea. So they're still they're still a new kid on the block. So, and honestly, I don't think Phil's working with the budget that we think he's working with.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
I don't think they have the amount of money as far as the Xbox division. They do make money, but I don't think they have the budget that we all think possibly. When we think Xbox, we think Microsoft. But each division has its own budget, So I'm not
The reason that is though.
So that's a big difference now. So
a lot of people.
What 343 and what's the other place? For Gears of War.
The Coalition.
Coalition. Yeah. So they own both of those, So it's different when you're paying somebody to make your game versus you're actually turning the lights on and you controlling all that shit. That shit costs money.
That's true.
I mean, they've always had the same amount of studios, though. I mean, they just, added a couple more in the last few years. But when it comes to the marketing, a lot of people give Don Matrick flack, because of the comments and stuff that he made. But if you look at the 360, when you turn on your 360, how many advertisements were on 360 compared to how many are on Xbox One?
That was his strength.
Yeah.
He's the opposite of what Phil is. He's not necessarily a gamer, but he's more of a businessman first. A lot of the deals, and people don't know, a lot of these deals, early deals, as far as launch deals from like the Dead Rising deal, I think even maybe the Titanfall deal was his possibly. I'm not sure. But I know a lot of the deals that we got early on in this iteration were his deals originally. He got those deals, and Phil had kind of took them over. So you're right. Donnie was more of a marketing guy. Phil's more of an actual gamer. He's just concerned about putting out the best possible product, best possible games. Where I think Matrix was a little bit more, okay, how do we? And he made them a lot of money too. So I can't really knock Matrix for his strategy. He didn't connect with the gamers, which is obviously his, I guess, demise, quote unquote. But that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles at the end of the day. But okay, yeah. So I mean, that was great. So I'm pretty sure we all, excited for 2016 and what it has to hold for us. So I kind of want to go around the panel, ask a question about some of the games you guys are looking forward to this year. If you had to pick one game to highlight, what would it be? So I'm gonna want to go start with we'll go ahead and start with Live on this one.
One game. I only can pick one.
You only got one. If you had $60 for just a year, you said, okay, I only get to buy one game this year.
Oh man, one game.
Wow.
One game. Damn. All right. I mean, I probably would go with, Quantum Break, just because it's an experience I haven't had before, and I can ride out with Halo for my multiplayer fix, so I could do that. But if I was looking for something new, other than The Division, something like that, I probably would say Ghost Recon. Ghost Recon looks like that. I mean, well, I don't even know if it's coming out this year, but if it does, it looks like
slated to come out this fall.
Oh man, it looks like that work, son. It looks like that work. Like Ubisoft, they can make a nice little comeback if the Division and Ghost Recon pan out. Yeah, that should be
that next E3 or that next E3 with that next Assassin's Creed if that take off. Yeah, you're right. They could make a big splash within these next couple of years, man. They'd be right back in the thick of things.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but I would say Quantum Break. I would like that's the game I'm most excited to play though. Like
Okay.
even though I really think that Division is going to be dope and Ghost Recon and obviously Gears is going to be hot, but just Quantum Break is something we've never seen before. So I gotta experience it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. What you think, Asthmatic?
I think, I mean, I'm just going to be sounding like a broken record here, but I mean, I'm so amped for the Division. We've been waiting for it for a while now, and I think, they pushed it back a couple times, and I think it's really going to end up being worth it. I loved Destiny, but I'm willing to admit, its shortcomings, and I really see that the Division has looked at that, and it's going to take what we as a industry learned from Destiny and go the extra mile. And I've always loved game series like Splinter Cell, and how they're bringing a little bit of that feel into the Division, and just everything from the history of the Tom Clancy's games all coming together to make what is truly this amazing next generation experience. And I think that's another thing that I'm actually just realizing right now, that a big difference between the Division and Destiny is Destiny was made for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 as well. And Bungie said that before. There's a lot of things they wanted to do that they couldn't. A lot of times people are like, I want this. Well, we can't because we're supporting old console. The Division doesn't have that. Right here, we're taking the Xbox One, the PS4, and everything to full throttle, and they're doing everything that they can. And I think it's really just going to nail it. And, I'm excited over the last couple weeks, having seen the chatter on Twitter and their marketing going up. They released a trailer called Agent's Journey that really got me more excited for the game. And I don't know, that's where, I mean, it wouldn't be $60 because I got to have that collector's edition. But if I only get one game, if I only get one game this year, now it's going to be The Division.
Nice.
All right, GKB.
I'm sure this is going to be no surprise to anybody, but I think PTK Blam is pretty on par with this one. Is Recore.
Nice.
I can't wait to have that robot dog on my side, playing as that girl, shooting all kinds of robots, changing out, doing all kinds of puzzles and stuff. Man, that game's got me written all over it. A close second that's really picking up a lot of steam with me is Sea of Thieves. Just being on that boat with like a bunch of us on there, taking out another pirate ship, man, making people walk the plank and stuff. Yo, I'm all
Hell yeah. We can moon people on the other ship. It'd be crazy.
And that's Recore. They have Joseph Staten of Halo 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Man.
They got some of the greatest people working on that game.
It's one of the best writers. Oh, yeah.
All right, so what about you, Delilah?
I would say Recore, but I haven't seen enough of Recore. I can't say Scalebound because that got delayed. If I had to choose one, though, I'd have to be Crackdown 3.
Nice.
Primary reason, though, is because the original creator is working on the third game.
Oh, yeah.
And the full destruction and everything, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to jump on that with, a bunch of people and just destroy crap.
Yeah.
Just get wrecked.
Nice. All right, Big Money, what you got, brother?
All you guys named some pretty amazing games that all those will probably be in my top 5 games, top 10 games to pick up this year. But if I only could pick one, slash maybe two, one would have to be Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, forgot about that one.
Man, yeah, great.
And then the other one would be Mafia 3. So it'd be a hand toss.
Yeah, that one looks good too.
Those two. I love the setting that 2K is taking with Mafia 3. Going to New Orleans. The flack that they got. When they first announced that game. I'm pretty excited to see what it's going to be about. So I can't wait to check that out. And then, Mass Effect going to a totally new universe, leaving Shepard behind. I can't wait to dive into that world. But like I said, all the games that you guys named, definitely worth pickups as well.
And it's Mass Effect only this gen, correct? It's not doing PS3 360.
Oh, better not.
It's
No,
only
yeah,
on
better
next
not.
gen.
Yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot if they do that.
Just had to make sure, brother. Okay,
Well,
cool,
you,
cool,
you
cool.
can't necessarily say that though, because I mean, Tomb Raider was on 360 and it's still a great game. So you can't just because it's coming to the.
Yeah,
Rise is
but
on
I don't know
360.
nobody who bought it on 360. I don't know. Nah. And I love Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is dope.
Oh man, Tomb Raider.
I couldn't imagine playing it on 360. As much as I love it on Xbox One, I'd be like, oh no, hell no.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Shit,
It's
yeah. Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and go with my picks now since everybody's going through there. So, man. So if I had to pick one, I'm a big Recore fan too, just based on the pedigree of the developers. I mean,
All
you
right,
got
man. You can pick the same game as me.
Yeah, I know it's cool, brother. But yeah, I mean, Recore. I'm super excited for Recore. I mean, I heard a little bit extra about it. Little few extra tidbits about it that got me even more hyped. About it too. So I mean, the game looks fantastic. I mean, we haven't seen anything as far as gameplay, but I just think based on the pedigree, you got Staten writing the story. You know, you got a great development team behind it. It's a full AAA title from what I'm hearing. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait. So that one, and if I had to, I guess a close second. Wow, would probably actually be probably would be Quantum Break. That'd probably be my close second because that game, like Live was saying, just I mean, Remedy can do no wrong in my opinion. Every game they put out is fire. Like you can't really. I mean, the games aren't broken. The games from A to Z, you know, they have everything you want in like a Game of the Year candidate. Mechanics, they're always very interesting. I think they're doing something interesting this generation that we haven't seen done already. I mean, you know, from the graphics, just the time manipulation, just all of that is just on par. It's next level, like next level stuff, and I think they're really doing a good job with that.
And you could play it when you ain't even trying to play games that day. You know, you had them days where you be like, man, I'm too fucking tired to play games right now. You be like, you know what? I'm about to watch that Quantum Break, yo. About to watch that shit.
That's true because of the story. Doesn't the TV show affect the story?
Yeah.
That is the one thing that like has me a little skeptical about the game because they haven't shown that feature off as far as, you know, when you play a certain part of the game, how that affects the story.
How does it affect the story? Yeah.
Well, from what I heard, it like pops in at different points. So it's not like I guess the whole story just changes based on how, like I guess what you do keys in. So it's like, okay, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and then you just watch the episode, and that's how it just unfolds. Like I think they showed a trailer where he like jumps out, and then like when they showed the actual live action, you see like the aftermath of what happened. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can fucks with that. I can fucks with that a little bit. I see what's going on.
I
Plus
just
the
trust
action,
Remedy.
yeah.
But I just trust them with whatever they're doing. So.
Remedy's awesome.
But it's not the game I was worried about. It was the show that I thought might have been suspect. Because when we originally saw it, we saw that lady with that generic ass lady with some generic ass little girl, and I said, "What the fuck kind of soap opera bullshit?" You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing I was like, I don't know. But then when they actually showed the real actors, you saw the actual trailer. I said, "Okay, I fucks with this. I fucks with this."
Yeah. That new cast still is pretty good.
Yeah, they got some quality actors, so I was actually surprised that they went out and did that. I mean, that's pretty good. And if I'm gonna say this about Remedy, if Microsoft had one developer that they could purchase, I'd love it to be Remedy. Like if they could go out and get Remedy, because I mean they're an independent studio. They do things when they want to do them, and that's another studio just like Bethesda that they do take time in between their games, and they do a really good job with it. So great. That's also awesome. So, go ahead.
I want to mention real quick. So like with that game being delayed, like wasn't Quantum Break delayed before? Like it was delayed, right?
Yes.
It was supposed to come out last year. Well, like I look at Scalebound the same way. Like we've seen it all now, but now that they've delayed it, I'm expecting for it to look way better than what it looked like before. Yeah. So I think the delay is probably the best thing that could happen to Scalebound.
I think so too.
After watching the gameplay and you saw the frame stutter that it had with only one dragon on there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what it runs when there's 4 players on there?
Yeah, but that was alpha. So.
That was alpha footage.
But think about the games we get on Xbox. Every game you see looks better when it actually comes out. Halo the same way. They let us play that beta. and then we actually played the game, and it looked way better. So it was like, yo, there's nothing. What was the other game? There was that other game that came out. Well, other than Quantum Break, there was some other fucking game that came out that was looking like whatever. I can't remember. Was it fucking Sunset Overdrive?
Yeah, it was Sunset.
Yes, that one looked better too when it came out. That one was fantastic, and it ran well too.
Oh my god, that game
Yeah,
is
that
so
was
underrated.
smooth as hell. Yeah, it's smooth as hell. But you guys also got to think about this too. Platinum is working on a lot of goddamn games. They got like 4 games they're working on. They got one for Sony. They're working on like a Ninja Turtle game. They're working on some other stuff. Like they're working on skills. So they got a big studio and they're working on a lot of stuff. So I think that them getting delayed is actually a really good thing. And on top of the fact, you don't want the game coming out next to like Call of Duty or something and it gets smothered or something like that. So you want to put it in its own time slate where it can actually get the praise that it deserves. So I think that was nothing but the right thing for.
You know what? You know what Xbox should do? They should make their own type of EA Access type service for their exclusives. So all the games that we play, that we got, that new Xbox owners come out and get, like they can play Rise, Son of Rome for $30, or they would throw Sunset Overdrive in there, or Master Chief Collection, all those old games, and they would get early access. So you would get Halo 6 like a week earlier. You know, like they should do that.
Compatibility. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll be down for that.
I would so buy it.
Hell yeah, I'll buy it right now. I'll put my money down. It ain't even out yet. I'll put my money down for that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go buy a gift card. Sign me up.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and since the show's winding down, it's pretty much the end of the show. We're gonna go to a couple questions. So anybody with questions, go ahead and hit us with some questions. You looking at it, GKB? You got any questions from anybody down in there? Let me take a look. We're taking 3 questions. Okay, this is a good one from Charity. I think this is your wife, GKB. Yeah, so she's a big fan of the show. Everybody, shout out Desert Steve. She's a huge fan. Appreciate you. She did ask, how do you guys feel about Sony trying to trademark Let's Play and no one said anything, and that they failed to get it? Well, we know how you feel about that, but everybody else besides Live, how you guys feel about them trying to trademark Let's Play? What do you think, Asthmatic?
I don't know what they think they're doing. I don't know, was that like just trying to be in the news? You know, so and what was that gonna do? Like if you had that, if it's like, oh, like that's ours now. Like everyone's like, okay, so what? Like that's not like that was Xbox's motto anyway. Like I don't, like what was the plan? Because it's that seems like something that you kind of felt like, hey, it's gonna go either way. Like we're either gonna get it and it's gonna be a news story, or we're not, and it's gonna be a story that we tried.
Yeah.
I
don't really. I mean, honestly, I didn't really. I don't know. It seemed kind of odd that they would try and patent or get a patent on that name now.
It's business, though.
Like,
Velociraptor,
you're right.
son.
I mean, it is business, but
They're trying to test them fences.
I guess, man. I guess I don't know. It's kind of quirky. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We got another question here. So, Predator H2O, a shout out Predator, always rocking out with us, man. He asked, are you guys happy with the games MS been dropping for Games with Gold? So I'm gonna ask Delilah about this one. See, what's your opinion on that, Delilah?
Yes, I just downloaded that Deus Ex game just a few
Deus
months ago.
Ex?
Right before I jumped on this podcast. So definitely, I mean, especially with the games they're releasing now. I would say earlier on, it wasn't too, it was kind of like more indie-based games, but now they're kind of incorporating some of the 360 titles, and so I'm digging that.
Yeah, they gave us a nice little button masher.
Yeah.
Was that Zeros?
Yeah, that's
Zeros.
Yeah, I was like, damn, man, I need a turbo button. I got X2 got that. Where's more? I was like, you know what? I ain't using the Elite. You ain't gonna have me fucking my good controller up on this.
That's a brand new game too.
Yeah.
As soon as that game came out, it was right away. Because when I did my preview video for Games with Gold, I went to go look it up, and I'm like, I can't find any info on this game. And I had to go to the developer website, and it's like, well, coming soon. So that's a brand new game that we got on Games with Gold that month of release.
Right.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Guacamelee when that dropped.
Oh, yeah.
I love that game.
That game was awesome.
Yeah, I know. If you haven't played through it, I recommend going through it with like a friend or something. Because 2 players is pretty awesome as well. But
Nice, and that's another thing that I think
oh man,
MS needs to get credit for. People talk about these indies, but Microsoft has a lot of quality indies
yeah.
coming out. You look at that ID program, the games that are coming out, and we spoke about this a little bit last week about, you got Everspace, you got, Cuphead, you got these really
Below.
high quality Below, Inside, you got these really high quality indies that are coming out, and they're doing a great job. Chris Charla and his team at Xbox are doing a fantastic job with not giving us just like shovelware. There's going to be some, but these are some great. I'm really looking forward to a lot of these indies to get down and
Yeah.
actually get a chance to play these games. So
Word.
that's a huge deal for Microsoft.
Cuphead is gonna suck up so much time.
Oh,
So
That
much
game seems
time.
like it's going to be extremely difficult. So
It
Hell
is.
yeah, that's what I need some help.
Where the time's gonna go, yeah.
I can see that game being big with like leaderboards too. If they have some kind of leaderboard with your friends,
Oh,
like
yeah.
competition stuff like that. So like times and things
Time,
like that.
yeah.
Score. Yeah, stuff like that. I think that'll be fantastic. So we need one more question here before we go ahead and end the show. Let's see what we got, people. So we got, what else we have in here? Oh, okay. So I got Charity again. She has another question. It says, what are your thoughts about how indies are being almost as big as AAA games like Unravel and Cuphead, for how many Kickstarters are now more known? So let's go ahead and ask B Money about that.
Man, I love it. When we first started the Inner Circle podcast, I was the one who was waving that flag. Everybody was kind of disregarding indie games, and on the 360 and the PS3, that's where I found the most fun. The last couple of years, where there really weren't too many big titles coming out. I would hit up the Xbox Live Arcade, just see what was releasing in there, and there's some pretty good games. They're technically weren't indie games at the time because they still had to be published, with partners and things like that. But those came from independent development studios. So I'm all about it. I love, Unravel looks amazing. Ubisoft released their game Child of Light last year, which was amazing. Turn-based
Really
game. So I applaud the bigger studios for taking the time to really recognize smaller studios. Of course, Phil, found a studio that did Ori and the Blind Forest, which was a critically acclaimed game.
they do.
You know what I mean? So I'm all about it. You know what I mean? When you can find something special like that, at a smaller title and bring it, to the forefront, why not applaud that? Even though, Rocket League has not come to the Xbox One yet, that game, it only took them $2 million to make that game, and they've made $50 million off that game. And it hasn't even released on a major console yet. So once that releases on Xbox, they'll make even more money off that game. So if you can take smaller, titles like that and make them bigger than probably what they ever thought they would be, you can't do wrong by that.
Yeah,
That's true. What'd you say?
I gotta hop in on this topic too, man. I'm doing like a series like Road to 100,000 Gamer Score, right? So I've been playing a lot of the indies lately, and I am so impressed with some of the quality of these games. Like I just finished Valiant Hearts. If you haven't played that game, you need to pick up on the game.
Really good.
It's pretty good.
The game is fantastic, and it's a tearjerker at the end. Just FYI. But yeah, I'm really stoked.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just think that indies this generation, a lot of us, we sit here, we talk about these AAA games, but I love talking about indies. And shout out to my boy Bites of Chicken. He's doing a Gear Gauntlet. Shout out to him if he's listening. He has Gear Gauntlet, which is another fantastic indie game. But I really like the focus that we have on indie developers this generation. They've made some quality titles. I think that what's interesting about indies is that they can do things that these big studios can't. They can afford to take chances that these big studios can't. So they can really do interesting things and present these games in different light that a lot of these other studios can't afford to. Say a game like Activision or something like a big studio EA. They can't really afford to take chances. They got to go with what's tried and true, what works, what makes money. So we have these other indie developers who can take these chances, and a lot of great things come out of them. Rocket League. I mean, Ori was a damn Game of the Year candidate, and it was an indie. That got so many awards. That game was fantastic. There's a bunch of other games also too. Child of Light was another one which is a great game, Valiant Hearts, and these are just small titles, So I think that that's huge. I'm so glad that we're getting a lot of quality indie games this generation. I can't wait to see more from them. I think everybody's doing a great job in that regard too. So, anybody got anything before we end the show? Looks like that's the end of our show.
Yeah, well, I think on that last point, I want to say that I think that's going to do a lot for the future of the industry because it's really narrowing that gap between I want to be a guy who makes video games and being a developer because it used to be so much more difficult where I can make this and I can get it on PC really easy, but I can't really have people playing it on console and all that. And Xbox is really doing a great job with the ID program of enabling people who have the passion and the desire and the ability to make games and giving them a platform with millions of people where with a fan base of millions of gamers who can play their games. And it's really enabling creative people to make new games and to give us, the gamers, new stuff to experience. And it's going to really help make gaming as a whole industry better in the future.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
Well
definitely
said.
agree.
Well said. Well said. So it looks like the podcast, we're winding down on it, everybody. We want to appreciate you guys rocking out with us. You guys always come show love on Saturday. As I always say at the end of my podcast, I appreciate every guest that comes on here. You guys are always welcome to come back. Shout out Delilah. Shout out B Money. Shout out Lenny. I know you ain't here, Lynn, but I know you was in the chat a little earlier. So you sliding in our DMs, I see. But we gonna have you on here when we get a chance, Lenny. But we appreciate the support, man. Lila, like I said, B Money, appreciate you guys so much for taking out the time of your day to come on, man. We appreciate that. You guys got anything you guys want to say before we get out of here? Delilah, B Money.
Definitely. I want to be on Tick Podcast. I've been trying to get on there for a minute.
Hey, look,
no doubt, no doubt.
Making connections. A love doctor over here. All right, B Money, what you got, man?
No, I just want to thank you guys, man, for inviting me on. I applaud you guys for sticking to what you're doing. I was talking to PTK about this before, but everybody kind of has to find their own lane and stick with that. And you guys have found some success, doing what you're doing. So keep it up. I appreciate you guys having me on, and you guys are always welcome to stop by through Tick, and we can chop it up on there as well.
For sure, man. And I want to before I end this, I want to make sure I do this. This is huge. I mean, these guys at Tick Podcast, some people give them some flack, but we got to take your hat off. You got to give credit where credit is due. These guys are doing big things. They just recently, maybe you can break it down, B Money, so that everybody listen and know exactly what happened with that situation. What happened recently with you guys?
Well, first off, thank everybody who supports Tick Podcast. We've been on the grind for a long time, to kind of get where we're at now. But we have the website TCIGN, which is our sister website to the podcast, and we've got some writers over there who've been recognized by BAFTA, so they can actually go in and do a lot of movie previews and get a lot of movie write-ups before a lot of people get to see them. So that's pretty exciting. And we actually applied this year for E3 to be a media team, and of course we got approved, thankfully. So we will be attending E3 this year as media. Last year we attended as attendees. So this year is pretty big for us. We'll actually be able to go in to E3 early, get some first-hand interviews with a lot of developers and things like that. So we'll be bringing a lot more content from E3 this year than we did last year, which is pretty exciting. So thank everybody who supported us. Thanks to everybody who's been hitting the website, hitting us on the podcast. Thanks to IGN, GameSpot, all those big websites who've picked up our interviews and featured them on their website, because that just gave us a little bit more exposure than we expected. So thank you to everybody who supported.
Nice. Good shit, man. That definitely deserves a clap.
Congratulations, guys.
That definitely deserves a clap, man. They're doing big things over there. I just wanted to make sure I got to that before we end the podcast. That's a big deal for the Xbox community. I cannot reiterate how huge that is. We got somebody who's created this thing from the ground up. You want to talk about starting from the bottom. These guys have been definitely grinding since day one. I applaud B Money. I applaud Lynn. They've been working hard around the clock, and they got it done. And so we got somebody who I can go to consistently for the real Xbox news if I need to know what's going on. So we appreciate you guys so much too. So I don't want to forget about my co-host and live. You guys got anything you want to say before we go ahead and end the podcast?
No, not me personally. I just want to say congrats to everybody. PTK, I love your show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
GKB, I think you're an awesome addition to the show.
Thank you.
You're very knowledgeable. I love your delivery is on point. So I look forward to hearing more, and I'm thankful for being here. That's all.
Appreciate it. What you got to say, GKB? You want to just plug yourself a little bit?
It's GKB from Gamers Knows Best. I want to thank everyone out there. Ever since I've been on this podcast, the love and support I've gotten is just fantastic. I really appreciate it. I'm very humbled by it. I just want to thank everybody, and I really appreciate it.
All right, Asthmatic, you got something for us?
Yeah, the same thing. I want to say thanks again to PTK Blam because he's the guy who set up this podcast, and he reached out to me and asked me to be a part of this. So I'm super thankful to get this opportunity to be a part of this conversation and just keep this going, and get to be a part of driving this community and keeping us going. So thank you guys so much for having me, and for everybody at home, check me out on YouTube at Asthmatic, and then on Twitter at Asthmatic117.
All right, live. What you got?
Oh man, I'm so fucking cooking right now, son. Yo, you gotta understand, man. It's been a long week, man. I've been drinking these wicked apples, man. This is like my third one.
Your ass to end the show.
I love these shits, yo. I love these shits. But anyway, no. Shout out to all my Xbox dudes out there, PlayStation dudes too. We love y'all too, man. Y'all gamers, man. We just love gamers. Yeah. Like, if you a real gamer, we appreciate y'all regardless. Yeah, I do talk shit about ponies, but that's only because those motherfuckers are ridiculous, man. They say the craziest shit, son. Motherfucker tried to tell me Killzone was better than Halo. I say, oh my god, what is that crack you are smoking? But I know I'm sorry, man. I've been drinking, But anyway, man, we love y'all, man. We love y'all. Thanks for watching the show. Come back next week, and we out this motherfucker.
All right, everybody, man. Y'all have a good one, man. We appreciate you guys watching, coming, showing love, man. We'll be on next week. Me and GKB, Asthmatic, got some new stuff lined up for you guys. We've all been talking just a little bit. We got some more things we need to get buttoned down, but I appreciate the guests. Appreciate you guys showing love. We'll be right back here next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. with another special guest or another set of special guests. Don't know at this point. So appreciate you guys rocking out, man. We out of here. All right.